Both Spain and Portugal are very vulnerable to tsunami hazards along the Atlantic coast, but the risk is not the same. Much of the Portuguese coastline is surrounded by very high cliffs, so these places are less vulnerable, they're more protected. Whereas along the coast of Cádiz and Huelva, much of the settlement is on very low-lying shorelines and highly vulnerable to a tsunami event. The key question is, how often do these tsunami events happen? What is the frequency? Some research suggests that these events happen between every 500 and 1,000 years. Research in Cádiz has shown there's been around 7 major tsunami events, whereas in Huelva it's as many as 14. One method used to calculate the number of past tsunami events is to take mud cores. From these, shells and tsunami deposits can be identified and the number of events calculated. In the salt marshes around Huelva, scientists have found evidence for at least 14 tsunami events in the last 8,000 years. Mud cores have shown marine shells sometimes located tens of kilometers from the ocean. The question is not going to be if there's going to be a tsunami, the question is when is there going to be a tsunami in this region. Archaeological evidence suggests that the town of Bailo Claudia was destroyed by a tsunami event around 2,000 years ago. The evidence is the direction that the walls and the columns fell parallel and all falling landwards and covered in marine shells. In Cape Trafalgar, along the coast of Cádiz, it's about 45-50 minutes from the school. There's evidence for the 1755 tsunami event. Along the rocky shore, there are large boulders, some of them weighing over 100 tons, that were deposited in this event. These boulders are too large, they're too heavy to be lifted by storm waves, and they show the power of this tsunami event. So imagine the situation or the scenario of a future tsunami event with a magnitude of 15 plus meters in height. Imagine the impacts on a place like Cádiz or around the city of Cádiz today. Most of this city is below 8 meters in height. If the tsunami happens in the summertime, you have thousands of people on the beaches, in the hotels and the urbanizations, with no tsunami warning system, no preparation, and no system of defense.